Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here on Saturday, March 8th, 2014 at 2:20 in the afternoon Eastern Time, which of course tomorrow will be 3:20 in the afternoon Eastern Daylight Time. I do not like daylight savings time. Admittedly, it's only 1 hour ahead, but it's sort of like flying from the East Coast of the United States to the United Kingdom. It takes me almost 2 weeks to get back, to get into a routine with this daylight savings time. I have no problem in October or November or whenever they decide to make it go back to normal next year or later this year. I don't know. Maybe they just won't ever go back. Maybe we will always be, maybe all of us on the western side of the Eastern time zone, the extreme western part of the Eastern time zone, are going to always be about an hour and 45 minutes out of sync with the sun. This can't be good for the way your adrenocortical system functions. That's going to mess up your hypothalamus and pituitary and adrenal systems. Well, after that little statement, I intended to do some more CME questions this morning, but I got sort of sidetracked and then becalmed. Overnight, I'd had several emails. Well, heck, actually almost 20. Two of them were from, the widow and the daughter of this deceased friend of mine from North Carolina. And had some really good news. Actually, my goddaughter, who is this man's daughter, has gotten into law school down in South Carolina. And I guess she sent in her application on the 3rd of February and did her LSATs, and boom, she's already admitted. So good for her. Good for her. And so I had to, I sent some responses and congratulations and so forth. And then there's been a bit of a back and forth, which is good. I guess she's visiting a friend of hers in New York right now. She starts August 21st. Good for her. Excellent. Excellent. And then I got several very gracious responses to comments I'd left on a number of people's videos to whom I subscribe on YouTube, and yeah, there's a couple of these I responded. That was fun. Well, by the time I'd gotten done doing that, I thought, well, I think I'm going to wait till Monday, or maybe even after church tomorrow, to do some more questions, CME questions. Now, I wasn't going to do anything today, but some things just come up you just can't pass these things up. Now, you recall that on Ash Wednesday, I made a video called Sandwiches and Ash Wednesday. And the sandwiches part of that had to do with this fellow, this major general in the United Kingdom, who had written an extended memorandum to his officers in his division, and about sandwiches and behavior in the mess and behavior at dinner parties and dances and behavior, and writing and general etiquette as far as how junior officers deal with senior officers. And which actually, about half of that stuff I agreed with. But it seems that apparently the junior officers today elected to respond to this. And this comes from the Daily Telegraph of today, September 8th. Not September 8th, Saturday, March 8th, 2014. And this is from the Daily Telegraph. So I'll be quoting from that from time to time. And of course, putting in my 2 cents worth. And again, it's by the same correspondent, Claire Carter. And she sort of, does rehash the piece from 2 days back a little bit. And she says that this was all billed as a lighthearted attempt, to improve etiquette. But his subordinates have failed to see the funny side of his 3-page edict of how they should behave in the officers' mess. In a witty riposte to his proto-Victorian standards, they explain it is hard to eat sandwiches with a knife and fork. They sit next to their wives at formal dinners because they quite like them. And some simply can't stand to welcome a superior into a room because their legs have been blown off. Then it rehashes the previous article a little bit. And then the response from these junior officers, entitled Letter of Thanks, and posted on the Army Rumor Service. Thanks to the commander for his fortitude, consideration for our welfare, and focus on the important issues, which it says continues to be inspiring. The note explains the benefits of eating sandwiches designed for manual manipulation with hands, and adds, it's really hard to eat a brie, bacon, and cranberry baguette. I was okay till they got to the cranberry. Baguette melt with a knife and fork. Then it goes on about sitting with the wives. Sir, we actually quite like our wives. That is rather why we married them. Unfortunately, some of them are a bit demanding these days. They will tend to go on about their own career, which incidentally tends to contribute a bit more to the family coffers than ours. Their concerns and so on. And then, in terms of officers failing to stand up when the seniors enter the room, it adds, please excuse Captain George and Captain McDonald. However, the prosthetics make it a bit problematic. And then it sort of goes, rehashes some of the other stuff again. And then the officers respond to the sandwich issue by saying sandwiches are enjoyable and reasonable value and save time. Sandwiches take half the time to order and eat in the mess, so we can have more time at our desks in your headquarters in order to read more of your emails about eating sandwiches. And then it talks about, the prosthetic says, while on the subject, please be assured that Captain Fraser is not, in fact, giving you the finger when saluting. It's just that he only has the one remaining. And then in the wives, yeah. And then it goes over the grammar issue again. Now, but it was interesting that they sort of did a little bit of a comeback. Now, of course, and then of course the comments section is always intriguing, and I'm not going to go through that except just to remark that as I scanned through them, there's clearly a lot of support for the general and his efforts, even if they're not meant as lighthearted efforts. I mean, some of these guys are really hardcore, and that was a bit of an eye opener. So I'm sure all you guys out there who are in the military know far more about this than I do. So on that note, I'm going to say bye-bye, YouTubers. Okay.